Oh, yeah! We're here back live with the Ranger Wrap-Up.
What's up, guys?
This is Darrel. I am Joe. We're going to be taking your live questions, comments, and concerns about the state of Power Rangers. You know news people always do that?
Yeah.
I always wanted to do that.
Well, now you have.
So me and Darrel walked into the studio today, and we thought to ourselves, you know, it's so random. He always wears the red communicator, and I always wear the white one. But this is like the first time we're actually wearing the corresponding shirts. And I was like, what is going on? But for those of you that aren't at Japan World Hero, thank you for joining us here live at the Ranger Wrap-Up.
Woo!
Today we're going to be talking about Episode 11, The Poisonous Plots.
Yes.
This episode has a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, we're going to be taking your questions and comments. And for if you want your comment read here live on, I was going to say Anime Super Chat, on Rangers, no, I was going to say Rangers Live Chat. Are you
going to be on the next Super Chat, Joe?
On the Ranger Wrap-Up, if you want your questions and comments read, all you got to do is hit the Super Chat feature. That is right here in the chat room, exclusively on YouTube. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth to Facebook also.
Right.
But also, if you're a Ranger fan, and this is a part of our stories today, if you're a Ranger fan, please share this video out. Share your Ranger love out because Zordon knows they need it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get into some news though, Darrel.
Where did we get those shirts, really quick?
Where'd you get yours?
I got mine from Steve Cardenas, actually, from Power Morphicon last year. This was a mistake, actually. I was supposed to get a tank top, and he gave it to me. And this is the story behind this. So, he sold me a tank top, and I was like, cool. So I went into the green room because I had access, and I changed into it. And then Selwyn Ward walks in, and he's like, and he starts laughing. And I turned around, I was like, be honest, Selwyn, is this a girl shirt? And he starts dying. He's like, it totally is. So I went back.
Is it?
No. So I went back to Steve, and I was like, Steve, this is a women's shirt. And he's like, oh. Well, here you go. And he gives me this. So I was like, oh, cool. This is mine now, I guess. So.
This is from Vicious Kill. Vicious Kill is one of our sponsors here at That Hashtag Show. If anybody that was in San Diego Comic-Con, they sponsored our party.
Yes.
They made some cool Power Ranger shirts. It actually has the Hashtag Show logo on it. But yeah, I like Power Ranger shirts. I actually don't have a lot of white shirts, believe it or not.
I have a lot of them, but I don't wear them very often.
Because for me, they're always like undershirts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let us know where you guys are from in the chat room. Also, if you, like I said, if you have the Super Chat feature, please use it, and it helps support the show. And please share this out on social media. If you tweet us, we'll retweet you back and share it out there on Facebook as well.
Yes.
On all those Power Ranger groups, by the way. But let's talk about some news real quick.
Okay.
The first thing I want to talk about is Power Rangers Legacy. There's not really a rhyme or reason to
Legacy
this today.
Wars.
Legacy Wars.
Yes.
We have Ninjor.
We have Ninjor. We have Korag, the Night Wolf from Mystic Force. I was not expecting Korag.
Yeah, which actually gives me a lot of hope that they're gonna go deep into like other characters.
Yes.
Maybe if the Phantom Ranger ever comes onto that game, I will start playing again.
Well, because they haven't hit anyone from Turbo yet, and I'm really hoping they like start doing that. But so the fact that they're hitting Korag, I'm all for that.
Now, here's another question: if they have another Mighty Morphin Red and it's Rocky, do you think he'll have a different moveset?
That's what I've been thinking, and I think they should. Because,
I agree, because you want something to distinguish them.
You know, they have very different fighting styles. Like, not in suit. In suit, it's very similar, obviously, because it's just like the Japanese footage. But when they're out of suit, Rocky and Jason both have very distinctive fighting styles, and like, I really hope that they bring them back and like kind of implement that. I think that'd be cool. And if not, like have them use like Rocky, Aisha, and Adam, have them use the movie suits or something. The original Mighty Morphin movie.
Real quick before we get into more news, I do want to say, because I noticed that Jalen and a few other people are here from Texas.
Yes.
I hope you guys are safe from that hurricane. I know that that's a thing, so just guys be safe out there in Texas, and our thoughts are with you guys in Texas.
Yes.
And Jalen lost his dog, so I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh!
I know, we're bringing it down a little bit. Korag was a beast. I'm going to switch it back to Power Rangers. So Korag was a beast, and I'm happy to see him. Do you think, like, what character do you also want to see? Like, if you had to name top 3 characters that you want to see in the Power Rangers Legacy War video game right now, who are they?
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm biased to Red Turbo, but because
TJ or Tommy?
TJ. We already have too much Tommy.
I agree.
And, like, we need Turbo representation in the game already. So, Phantom Ranger, I didn't even think about that. I think that'd be bomb.
And they could disappear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be broken, like, who's the one that can already do that? Snide. Snide can do that. Gosh, I had someone else in mind. Maybe one of the Fear Cats from Operation Overdrive. Like, even though Operation Overdrive wasn't a great season, I really liked the Fear Cats.
You know what, man? I don't think it was a terrible season.
Yeah.
It was watchable, and at least it was different. Mm-hmm. The only thing that brought it down for me was I'm not the biggest fan of iMac.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I didn't really like that. If he would have stayed a robot the whole time and he gets kind of like, and decommissioned or something, right. I'd have been a lot happier with that season. I do think it's one of the weakest Disney seasons there is. Actually, if you look at Disney as a whole, they had pretty good seasons.
Disney was great.
It's just, for me, it was that. And even I understand now, I don't really like Jungle Fury, but I understand why people do, and I get it. Cause I do respect it because it's so different. But it just wasn't my season.
I was talking to Seamus, actually, about Jungle Fury. And
Seamus from the WWE? That's crazy. I didn't know he was a Power Ranger fan.
Actually, yeah. No, Seamus Kelly from Den of Geeks.
I love Seamus. Yeah. Shout out to Seamus.
We were talking about Jungle Fury, how much we liked it, and it's because each character is different by the end of the season. there's significant character growth. Casey starts off as this nobody and turns into Kung Fu Master, and then
Kung Fu Master Casey.
Yeah. It's just hashtag Kung Fu Master Casey. It's such a good season. I really liked it. Shut up, Jezzer. You don't know shit.
Yeah. So I'm not I actually really like Turbo too. I was going back and I think that's the last time we really get this. It really feels like the end of the Mighty Morphin era. Yeah. It just feels. I mean, I know Space. People can say Space was, but to me, Turbo, when it got to Space, it became a different show. And Turbo was still that MMPR kind of era.
But that's why I kind of like Turbo, because it finally kind of became its own thing. But it was still pretty bad. Zeo was great, but it was still kind of in the Mighty Morphin formula, just with a twist.
Yeah, I agree.
And Turbo changed it all up with detonators and stuff like that.
The top 3 Rangers I'd like to see implemented into the game are the Phantom Ranger, of course. Mm-hmm. I would also like to see Alpha 5 just as a support guy. Oh. So maybe just come out and do some kind of support thing. And then
we already have Alpha from the movie, but I think Alpha 5
would be kind of really cool.
Would be really funny,
and, I would really like to see I would like to see Divatox.
Actually, yeah. I think that'd be really cool.
I think I just named 2 Turbo things. I didn't think about that.
Or
you know what? Jared from Jungle Fury, because I really liked his lion kind of suit.
Daishi.
Or Camille, Daishi, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, let's talk about merchandise. Power Rangers is known for a couple of things, and merchandising is one of them, and the Power Ranger Mighty Morphin movie, not Mighty Morphin, but the Power Rangers movie helmets came out.
The 2017 movie.
The Red Ranger helmet came out.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it, and it looks beautiful. My only concern, we talked about this on the last show, is that it's kind of matte. It's not shiny.
Yeah, Carlos, Danny last week said the same thing, that he wasn't a fan of that. I kind of agree. It doesn't. It feels like one of those an upgraded version of a cheap Halloween costume.
Exactly. So for all the other helmets, the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger helmets, I would probably get them just for display pieces. I wouldn't wear them. But this one, I think, is very specific because they got all the details right and everything. It's cool.
Is it one piece?
I think it it just opens up from the back and everything. But it looks cool. I really like it.
Because I've seen the movie helmet. Have you seen the movie helmet up close? It's 3 pieces.
Yeah. It's crazy how much detail actually went into the actual thing, and we got to see that at Comic-Con. Actually, it was really cool.
It was pretty amazing.
The movie coins are also out. I don't know if they're out in the States, but they are out in Australia.
You a fan of the movie coins?
Yes, I like the movie coins, but I don't think they should have stayed like that. I think they should have been transformed into
something.
Yeah,
I mean, the movie coins do make sense to me as an essence. I feel like
they feel like an artifact, and I like that.
Yeah, they feel like an artifact, something they would have excavated.
Yeah, the whole mystical feel of Power Rangers as a whole, not just the movie, is something I really like about Rangers. And so I really like the fact that these are the coins. I just wish they were transformed into actual coins, like something more ethical to use for more
ethical
stuff. Yeah.
Ethical?
Maybe, I don't know. That's probably not the word.
That's not the word. I know what you meant though. Anyway, let's talk about our last bit of news today, and that is that Neo Saban era Power Rangers has lost 3/4 of its audience. Now, that is a lot of people. First of all, why do you think this is happening, and how can it be fixed? The first way you can fix it is by sharing out this show to show your love of Power Rangers and our love of Power Rangers. Second way, I want you to answer this. What do you think happened?
There's a lot. Well, coming from my...
We do got a super chat. Larry Newbill. I want to know, Larry, how would you fix it? How would you fix this drop in ratings the Power Rangers is currently experiencing?
My biggest thing as like a fan is that, since Mighty Morphin, I watched this for the story, the universe, the world building, and I really enjoyed that. And that's something that's really been lacking in the Neo Saban era. Like, I remember when Power Rangers Samurai first started airing, and everyone was like super excited Power Rangers back. A couple episodes in, everyone's like, oh, this is terrible. And I remember reading a comment, I think it was on Ranger Board. It was like, you know what's sad? My Little Pony has better writing than Power Rangers Samurai. And I was like, damn!
Well, I mean, you know what? That's actually true. Number one, that's true. My Little Pony, I hear, is a really well crafted show.
Yeah.
I think I've seen like an episode or two, and I can understand why it has the appeal. Obviously, it's not my fan base, but I understand the appeal to it. Power Rangers, however, I think that they're struggling hard right now. Now, I know that, and I like Chip a lot, but I know that when he came in, he was looked at as the savior from the Samurai and Megaforce, and he did that in the first season of Dino Charge. But
and then
second season, Supercharge came out, and it was like, what are you doing? And I also think that they're having a huge problem for a couple of reasons. Number one is that Power Rangers is a summer show, and at its essence, it's a kids show.
Yes.
Kids are at home in the summer. It needs to air in the summer. That's when you're not getting new episodes for anything else, so why not Power Rangers? I also think that something else that's holding it back is splitting it off into 2 seasons. I think having it should be one 40-episode season that should be Power Rangers Ninja Steel, and then take a break and Power Rangers Ninja Steel.
To a lot of people, that's like really distancing. It's like, oh man, Super Steel is out, Super Ninja Steel is out, but I haven't seen Ninja Steel, so I can't watch this. If you had called it one whole season, it encourages more people to just like kind of just watch through it. But by calling it a different season entirely, that's distancing. Yeah,
splitting it into 2 seasons like that. Really what Power Rangers should do is learn a lot from what Sentai does.
Yes.
Is that Sentai is a concurrently running show with 40 to 50 episodes sometimes, and it all makes sense. And you don't necessarily... I mean, the one thing I love about Sentai is that story gets so deep. It makes me care about one character in one episode than I could in the whole season of like Ninja Steel. Or I should say, not Ninja... Well, some aspects of Ninja Steel. Q Ranger... Dark, can't read that. Just say it.
The Blaster and...
Oh, that's right.
Oh, we have more new. Yeah, so that's
we'll get to that.
But the Blaster would be more of a hench and hang, I think. But the Power Rangers currently right now are in a state of disarray.
Yes.
To get that back on track, I think as viewers. You just gotta kind of bear with it. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah, and that's the worst part, is that we're kind of just like trudging along loyally until it gets better. And I don't know if this like...
Do you think Saban's hearing our cries of we want better seasons?
And that's the thing, it's like...
Or do you even think they care because it's catered to younger kids?
And that's the thing, that shouldn't matter. I'm a strong believer in like... That's one of the excuses people use, like, it's a kid show. That shouldn't matter. That really shouldn't. Like, Teen Titans is for kids. TMNT is for kids. Like, My Little Pony is for kids. There's, like, all these shows that are catered towards Avatar, Korra, like, at their core, they're for kids. But an older audience can enjoy them.
But I think it's different because those are animated, though. You can't necessarily do that with, like, I don't know. What's one of these Disney shows that are on? Or even Nickelodeon, or like, what are these? What's the one that KC Undercover?
That
you can't necessarily do an adult-themed show on KC Undercover, like
but
not adult,
but it doesn't have to be adult.
But really, I think that you're limited when it comes to live action. I do think that Power Rangers. Everyone is blaming Nickelodeon right now. I think the blame is enough to go around though, because Nickelodeon doesn't hire the writers.
Right.
Saban does. I think that's a bigger problem.
The only fault that Nickelodeon has is the hiatus. And even then, that shouldn't...
Well, it's also Nickelodeon. I guess it's their mandate of wanting to do 20-episode seasons.
Right, exactly.
Again, I don't think that that's a bad thing because you can do 20-episode seasons, but 20 good episodes are better than 20 bad episodes.
Exactly.
Like, you can make... If they made Power Rangers Dino Charge and then Super Dino Charge and Super Dino Charge was still good, I don't think any of us would be complaining right now.
Well, the thing is, like, even if they are split into 2 seasons, it's still Power Rangers. People would still watch it regardless. So it's like... The splitting between 2 seasons, while it is kind of like the fault, it's not. It shouldn't be. It's still Power Rangers. That shouldn't be the reason why the viewership is dropping.
But it is, and I think that there needs to be a couple changes. Because if the viewership doesn't go back up, look at the 25th season as its last. Mm-hmm. Because first of all, it could tie up things because after 25 years, why not? But who knows? Maybe it still has too much in its tank. Right. I can also see Power Rangers going exclusively to Netflix.
I can see that too. And
but
I
if they do that, that would be pretty cool because they can get more control of what they want to do.
Exactly.
Again, the writing needs to change. I mean, not just Chip, but there needs to be
the overall
message of the writing needs to be improved. This episode today was a step in the right direction,
yes.
though. But we're
I have a couple problems, but yes, definitely.
Let's talk about a couple more things. Right now, we're going to talk about this. This is more of a Henshin hangout story.
Yes.
So if you like the Sentai, which is if you think that Power Rangers, it's in a slump, watch Q Ranger.
Uchu Sentai.
And then understand that they can do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk to me about the thing.
So
the blaster thing.
If everyone is kind of caught up with as current as Q Ranger episode 26, they have this new blaster that got confirmed as a toy, the Dark Seiza blaster, and then Naga uses it to transform into Hibitsukai Metal, which is a dark version of it. Now, my issue. It's not an issue. My thing with that is they created a toy just for this single Ranger debut, and I think that's a waste of money. So I feel like this toy is going to be a bigger thing. Like all the Q Rangers are going to go metal or dark or some form of like evil version. That's the word I'm looking for. What do you think?
I'm not sure about that. It would be super cool because I'd like to see it, or I'd like to see different formations. If I don't know, maybe the Phoenix Soldiers team is more of a darker team. I think that would be kind of cool. But we did. I think it was Jamel Van Westering said that back to the other topic, and it's going to tie into Q Ranger in a second. Mm-hmm. But he said that it's if you have a 5 or 6 man team, you can't develop everything because of the numbers. I'm assuming he means the Ranger teams. I disagree with that because Q Ranger has a team of...
is proving.
It has a team of 13 or 12 or 13 right now, and it's developing everybody just fine.
Q Ranger, Kyoryuger, Dino Charge in Japanese, if you aren't familiar, they have these huge entire casts, and they've developed the characters in such a way that you care about every single one. Like the fact that like you're saying that there's a giant like team of 6, that's not an excuse.
Listen, Dino Charge did a great job in the first season with the team of like 10.
Yeah, exactly. Like even though the spotlight was only on 6, 7 of them with Claire.
So he's saying that now Q Ranger has 50 episodes. That's true, but I was attached to Q Ranger in episode 3 because it actually developed characters.
Exactly.
So they were able to develop characters in their first 13 episodes, or even 11 episodes, than Power Rangers has been able to do in their first 11 episodes. Because right now, let's be honest, I don't know anything. Was the Yellow Ranger even in this episode?
Yeah.
Did he have any lines? Because I don't remember him speaking. They don't develop anybody, any ancillary characters.
I don't think he said anything other than like his battle banter.
Nobody remembers anyone except King. That's not true because I think Ian was the coolest guy on that season.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I mean,
but I think that there's a lot with Q Rangers that they can develop these Rangers and do it in a shorter amount of time.
Right. The thing is that like for all these Sentai and stuff like that, these characters are developed by episode 3, like you said. And Ninja Steel, you take entire seasons just to develop one character, and that's so wrong. Like when you watch something, you want to get attached to the character and be like, cool, I'm gonna keep watching this show. And if it doesn't hook you, most people are just going to leave, which is why I'm concerned about the writing for Power Rangers. That's why the viewership drop. I think that's one of the biggest things.
I mean, and it's
Kids
also
can't relate.
Not only can they not relate, but they're not. I mean, nobody really has full story arcs on Power Rangers anymore. I think the closest we got was last week with Preston.
Yeah,
was a big story arcing type of thing, and even today we got a lot with Brodie and Aidan. But again, we're 11 episodes deep, and I barely know anything. What's the Yellow Ranger's name even? Like
Calvin.
I barely even know some of their names because they're not focuses at all.
We should get to know them through.
Mick wasn't even in yesterday's or last week's episode, so it's like, why is he their mentor if
he's not there? You know.
Oh, by the way, Kat wrote an article about us on.
Oh yeah, I saw that
on Huffington Post.
Yes,
that was super cool, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's move on real quick and talk about Power Rangers. Boom Studios comic, something that is going right in the Power Rangers universe, is the Boom Studios comic. Issue 18 hits Wednesday. So the premise is the fallout from the Dark Universe with Lord Dracon, and Rita Repulsa. They fail to take over the universe. Spoiler alert. And we are getting into our next storyline. So the Rangers, up to this point, have currently made a deal with the United States government. It's an uneasy alliance.
What?
Yep. And they are about to be transported back to 1969 when the Rangers had an epic battle on the moon, and somehow these Rangers that had this battle on the moon are forgotten. So, whatever happened to Red Pot? Does Red Pot even a character still?
I didn't even.
What happened to Red Pot?
I didn't even think
They didn't write him out? They didn't, that's what I'm saying. Talk about development, right? But anyways, back to this Power Rangers Boom Studios comic.
Yes.
They need to get Kyle Higgins writing this show.
Yes, they do. And I've said this before. The comic is exactly what Power Rangers should be now. They're chained to their Sentai counterparts, but I feel like that shouldn't even be an issue. You have all the source material. It just has to be written the right way.
I agree.
And so Kyle is definitely proven that you can do that with what you're given.
And I think Kyle is a talented enough writer where he's able to captivate the best out of those Power Rangers seasons from Mighty Morphin. My only downside about Mighty Morphin is that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the comic book,
right,
is that it's just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the comic book.
Exactly.
I wish that they would really dive in other seasons. And they just started a second series called Go Go Power Rangers.
Yes.
Gosh, give me Time Force.
Apparently, issue 2, which is coming out soon, I believe. They touch on some loopholes that we kind of overlooked.
Oh, that's great.
In the series, that's what I've heard anyway. But I'm looking forward to that.
The one thing I loved about I was sold on Mighty Morphin to begin with, but I feel that with Mighty Morphin, what really sold me is that. Even a quick glimpse, we got the Alien Rangers and the Phantom Ranger.
Yes.
In just a panel. It's I don't know, man. They're doing it so well with the Boom Studios comic is that,
they're doing it right.
They're doing it right. And it's not even an excuse as Jamail's really, Kyle's being given carte blanche to do whatever he wants, essentially. That there's a little truth to that, but also, let's be real, sometimes you can just adapt good things, and it's called RPM. It's just a good season.
RPM is a testament to that. You can take a completely goofy season and turn it into, what did I say, season, and turn it into something great. You have Zords with googly anime eyes, as they even say. And
googly anime.
And then they turn it into this post-apocalyptic universe, slash Terminator slash, whatever. It's great and it's fantastic. The thing is, the writing needs to be there because you can have all the time in the world to develop these characters, but simple lines of dialogue are enough to develop characters, And that's really what this season, Ninja Steel, and any other season of Neo Saban needs, just good writing so you can relate to them.
Here's another thing: is the Super Samurai 1 says that he would actually like to see. Or he or she would actually like to see an Alien Rangers comic. I agree. I feel like 10 episodes of Power Rangers wasn't enough.
And they were kind of thrown in there. They didn't really have anything else other than the fact that they're Rangers from another planet on water. It's okay, cool. So we have more Rangers. 10 episodes. That's it,
It's very true. All right, so let's get into this week's episode. We are going to be talking about Poisonous Plots, episode 11 from Power Rangers Ninja Steel. Let's get into it. First, we start off with Aidan. He tells his story. He's talking about his story about his dad. It's the backstory, the origin story of what happened to Aidan during this time. The dad fights Galvanax. Now, fun fact for those of you guys that are just joining us for the first time on Ranger Wrap-Up, which I don't think there's too many of you, but the dad is actually Thor in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. The dad destroys the star, and he disappears. Aidan leaves a clue and runs away. He's on a train. He runs away. He wants to get as far from Galvanax as he can. Aidan wants to see the hideout. Yes. He asks the Rangers, and this is where it gets a little fishy. Right. I think this is our first clue here that, oh man, something is weird here.
He was very straightforward about that.
Yeah,
he was
like, so
can I see the hideout? How do you know we even have a hideout?
Right. And I like the fact that Mick is like the voice of reason, and he's like, whoa. That's just for the Rangers.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, can I train? He's like, yeah, sure, you can train with us.
I mean, what's the harm in that?
Yeah, and then we get the training sequence. Now, this is what I did. Like, this is where you start seeing that. All right, things are coming together. I understand. They're actually training as ninjas, and I'm like, yes.
Finally,
they're in their suits. It makes sense. I'm okay with this. So, going into this, I mean, let's be real. I think last week's episode was the strongest so far. This week's episode's pretty good.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, this is on the right track. Exactly. You guys are starting to hit your stride. So they get the ninja training. Aidan shows off moves against Levi. Now, here's the thing, too. I think that Levi is a very good actor.
Yes.
Like, I didn't think I was going to like him personally as a Ranger because
the Ranger aesthetic is just... It's too much.
Tell me what you told me about the cowboy ninja thing.
The cowboy ninja. I mean, if he was just a cowboy, cool. I don't know why he would be in a ninja season, but cool. I would take it. But it's so forced. I'm a cowboy and a ninja and a country superstar and a high school student and I have a burger for a phone. It's like, what? There's so much, and so before even knowing who Levi was going to be, it's like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like him. But Levi's character is great.
Yes,
I love it. I love everything about it. He's also a really great actor.
Now here's one thing. Oh, super chat by Larry. What bracelets?
No, the one he posted in Hashtaggers.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
The light up ones.
I haven't seen it.
They're cool.
I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out. But one thing that I don't necessarily like, and this is about writing and storytelling and not leaving plot holes, is that he is a country music superstar that just happens to be in high school now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Power Ranger logic.
So Aidan shows off his moves against Levi, and he's pretty much a show off.
Yes.
And I like the fact that Aidan's like, dude, that's not cool. Like, just chill out.
Actually, I didn't catch that as show-offy. It was like, it almost felt like he had actual ill intentions toward Levi. He's like, oh, really? And he, like, kicks him. He's like, whoa, man, hold on.
Yeah, like there was some kind of weird rivalry or something.
Yeah, I was like, what? What is your deal, man?
Well, that would play into cadence if Levi really was his brother.
Yeah.
That would make more sense. Oh, Darrel, Power Rangers. So we're back in high school. It's a place we haven't been in quite a while. They're making chocolate molds for the kids. Yeah. Monte, I love Monte. Minkus. Have you ever seen Boy Meets World? He's Minkus.
No.
You've never seen Boy Meets World? He is Minkus. I'm going to show you after the show.
But,
can you find a picture of Minkus and put him on?
These two, I was kind of like on the fence with these two, but after this episode, like, these two are really filling the role of like Bulk and Skull, like the comic relief, and I really like that. It was funny. I actually kind of like chuckled a little. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, they went to school. I don't know. See, Jamail says that it's the same as JoJo, who stopped doing music to go back to school and nobody cared. We literally saw in 2 episodes that he's one of the biggest country music superstars.
Ever.
And even, ever. And when we start this season, he has a huge sold-out concert. So I think it would be still a big deal if he were to go back to high school.
Yeah.
Especially right now. JoJo stopped doing music.
There would be paparazzi everywhere.
Right. So this is a little bit different. I also think that I dug them being back in high school, though.
Yes.
I think it was kind of cool that they were there, and because we don't get to see it as much anymore. So I like the high school thing. I like the whole high school thing.
It was a lot of fun watching all this, like, kind of unfold.
Monte gets the great idea to put glue into the chocolate so it won't melt. Have you ever put glue in chocolate before?
No.
I don't even know if that works, if that's a thing. If it is
I would
a thing,
imagine
it
would, though. Like, I feel like it would.
The chocolate whole experiment kind of goes wrong. It shoots Victor right, it shoots Victor right in the mouth. And there's Minkus. That's Minkus. Look, it's Monte.
That's great. That's hilarious.
But it shoots him right in the mouth, and then it shoots him in the face, and he's covered in chocolate. Actually, like this. This reminds me so much of like Bulk and Skull, but it's more. They're not bullies.
Yeah, they're
just like
misunderstood. Yeah, like, and that's the biggest part about Mighty Morphin. Now that we've actually watched back, it's like they're not really bullies.
They just want to fit in.
They were, yeah, exactly. They're just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing whatever it is that they do.
Yeah,
and
I think that it's great, and I like actually the fact. Sometimes I do feel bad for I was gonna say Minkus, Monte and Victor. Because it just seems like they just want to kind of do right, but they're doing it the wrong way.
And life just does not let them. It just
doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It's all right. Let's talk about Aidan fighting the Kudabots. Yes. Because Aidan's holding his own. And the Rangers show up, and Aidan's actually saving people. This, to me, honestly, I think that this, so far, is a better done version of Heckle.
Yes.
This
is really like how it kind of should have been.
Yeah,
written.
like because Heckle was very mustache twirly villain.
Yeah.
Whereas Aidan's not necessarily that right now.
He's just a regular kid.
Just a regular kid, and I like the fact that he is helping people at his core. The Rangers come in and fight the Kudabots. The monster hits Brodie with his power.
I didn't
with her power. Actually.
Really, going back really quick, I didn't like how what's her name? Haley and Levi kind of just didn't question the fact that he was there fighting. It was just like, oh, okay. And I feel like, especially after the show-offy thing, it seems suspicious. But we kind of just wrote up. But I'll get into that much later, once we get to the rest of the episode.
Yeah, so we get Brodie. He gets hit by this ray. He's like kind of dying.
Yeah.
And if they don't give up their ninja stars, then by is it sundown?
Yeah.
Sunset, that the Red Ranger's finished. They never use the word died or destroyed. It's a Power Ranger thing.
It's destroyed.
But he's finished. Back to the base, Aidan wants the Rangers to give the Power Stars up for his brother.
Very, very adamant about
See,
this.
now, I took this as one out of two ways. Either he is really trying to be an overprotective brother, or it's a bigger game at play here.
Exactly.
And
like
this is where I would say that the writing did get smarter.
I want it, like, I'm going to give it to this guy because his acting, like, especially for Power Rangers, is fantastic. I don't know whether he's from here in the U.S. or from New Zealand, but he's great. Totally sold it.
And I also, it's really cool to keep guessing. I like the fact that I was like, man, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I don't know.
We were talking about this before we started streaming, and that, like, this whole sequence was just, it felt real, and I liked it. It just felt like, oh, I'm actually kind of invested in this. And I haven't been in Ninja Steel, and so this is a really nice feeling.
Yeah, I mean, and also, Haley, I actually like this a lot, that Haley gets the idea to tell Levi, hey, can you help me get everyone's Power Stars?
Yeah.
Ninja Stars.
After seeing the concern from Aidan, you know.
And I like the fact that they kind of just did their plan.
Yeah.
And they did it kind of on their own. And I like the interaction between the two characters, because it was just kind of like, it almost felt like they were the ones that saved the day, essentially. I really like Haley and Levi. I like the cast. This cast. It's not that they're growing on me, because I actually like this cast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that I'm expecting them to be good, and they're living up to it so far, for the most part.
Yes.
For the most part.
For the most part.
Monte runs into the hallways, and he sees Levi and Haley, and technically they totally get caught as being Power Rangers at that point.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily pay attention to the Ninja Stars, because Monte's so concerned about his friend. He's just so concerned about his friend that it just kind of happens.
And kind of just shrugs it off.
Shrugs it off.
Well, whatever.
Which I kind of like. I like. Also, the Power Stars are hold on, I'm jumping ahead of myself.
You're jumping way ahead.
Haley tries to make a deal with Galvan X, and Galvan X is crazy.
Before that, Brodie sneaks out of the lab in his poisoned state, walking around. None of the other Rangers have stopped him, but he's like, I need to go with you. No one has stopped this dying boy from running into the field and possibly killing himself further. This is where I was like, okay, now I'm like, not believable. This is where I was thinking, my initial thoughts were actually like, this is Aidan. Aidan is some shape-shifting monster thing, and yeah, so he's sneaking off.
He's sneaking off. You didn't like it. I wasn't a big fan of it, because it doesn't necessarily make sense. Now, it makes sense to show that Brodie's courageous, and I completely get that. But even for Mick to be like, hey man, just listen to me. don't go.
Yeah.
Like
no one had stopped him. And his brother didn't even go with him. And his brother was holding his hand, taking a watch. Like, everything will be okay, man. Everything will be all right.
And the thing is but his brother made it so believable that I was like, oh, I think he cares. It's his real brother. He cares. So that was actually really good. I really, really like that. We do get to see Haley run off, and she tries to make a deal with Galvanex.
Yes.
And Galvanex thinks he has a power star. He starts celebrating.
This was a great scene. I love this scene.
Yeah. He starts celebrating. The arena.
We did it!
The arena cheers. They love it. They did it.
Yes.
They did it. But they didn't do it. So the Rangers are like, hey, how come you gave him all of our coin or our ninja stars? It's like, well, no. It's part of the plan. It opens it, and it's chocolate. And I like the fact that this plays into the the B plot of it being a chocolate kind of thing that played into Monte and Victor's storyline. It intertwined, but they made it make sense. They said, no, we needed the Ninja Stars just to mold it.
Exactly.
Mold the Ninja Stars to give them away. And I thought that was a brilliant, brilliant play. I really like that. How do you feel?
I mean, there's a thing of Aidan's naivety or no
nativity. Nativity's probably the wrong word there.
No, yeah, that's
that's we're 1 for 1 then.
Yeah. It's just so when they give the power stars and everything, and Aidan is like, oh, okay, cool, you did everything that I asked, sort of, kinda, Haley and Levi's naivety is they're not questioning whether or not, we gave the power stars, like you said, you're a show off, you just kind of showed up out of the blue, and it's just no one's really suspicious of the fact that he has all these intentions of maybe he is the brother and he's not, and I don't know, but I'll get to that.
Yeah,
there's a thing that happens.
Rangers fight the Codabots and the monster.
Yes.
Levi hits the ninja tornado attack, which I really like, by the way.
Yeah.
We see the ninja spin also by Brodie. By the way, Brodie's healthy again.
Oh yeah, healed.
He's healed. But that makes sense because that was part of the deal. At least the villains kept their word.
Yeah.
These are the most honorable villains I think that the Rangers have fought in a very long time.
Because they're not really villains. They're just kind of running the show.
When I was talking to DJ when the season kind of started, and he was like, "Well, if you look at it from a real different perspective, the villains aren't necessarily villains. It's the Power Rangers that are villains because they gave the Red Ranger Brodie a place to stay." They took in a kid that was homeless.
Exactly.
And they raised him and made him learn how to work and respect things.
Exactly.
If you think of it, they're not necessarily villains. They're pretty nice. Hey, we just made a deal. Now I'm going to keep my word.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that happens in this episode that I really, really liked, and this may have been the Sentai footage, is that 2 of my favorite Rangers this season so far, Levi and Preston, they go in a battle together.
Yes.
And they beat Toxicity? Toxicity, I believe is her name. They beat they start to beat Toxicity in little form, in regular form.
Right.
And I love it because he does his burger morpher thing with the selfie thing. So, but I will say though that they've done a great job in not making the burger morpher a burger morpher.
Morpher. Yes.
They make it a burger camera. I like that.
It's just a camera.
The Preston and Levi, honestly, the Preston and Levi team up, the Haley and Levi team up, he has good chemistry with this cast.
Yes.
I really like Levi, and I really
the way he's connecting with the entire cast, not only as actors but as Rangers. I like it. It's great. It all works.
Very good chemistry, and that's very important on this show. They grow, they use their Zords and fight Toxicity. Here's the thing: I really like Aidan's Zord. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of it. Now, the Zords overall this season, besides the Dragon, I'm not really into.
The Dragon is really the only Zord I liked.
Yeah, same here. I'm not a huge fan of. Because it doesn't explain the Sentai version.
Okay,
of
so
how this
for those of you that haven't seen Ninja or don't know why all the Zords are different, is because when Ninja was first conceptualized, it was okay, each Rangers are going to have a Zord that represents something about Japan that makes them so strong and everything. So we're gonna have a dog as a Shiba Inu or a wolf or something, I don't know. And then bullet trains because in innovation and stuff. Same thing with the dump truck and hardworking Japanese people, dragons, because mythology, ninjas. I don't know why there's a cowboy, but each of these things were supposed to be representing Japan, but when you throw them into something like a ninja season, it doesn't make any sense. The only thing that makes sense is the dragon and the ninja, and maybe the dog.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, and that's why the ninja was so bad.
I messed up. I didn't mean Aidan Zord. We meant Levi Zord. Sorry.
Levi Zord. Yeah. There's too many characters already.
But they beat Toxicity. I like the Zords. We're back in high school. Levi and Haley apologized to Aidan.
I didn't like that.
But Aidan does admit that he was being a jerk.
Yes.
Which I like the joking, the banter that he had with Levi, and he's like, "Oh, next time,
that was kind of cool." And I'll admit, like, the whole apology was nice and it felt nice. But then there's like, I feel like they shrugged it off too easily. They
let bygones be bygones too quick.
Yeah, and it's like one of the things that really like kind of irritates me about this season and just the overall Neo Saban season in general is that they don't let their cast get nitty gritty and dirty. It just like, oh, here's a problem, shrugged off, whatever. We're just gonna ignore it. We're not gonna acknowledge it.
I agree with that. Like, I think that honestly, if you watch Samurai, it starts off really strong.
Yeah.
With Mike kind of like being an outsider, even though that wasn't supposed to be the first episode. It does start off really strong.
Exactly.
But then something like SPD, where Jack and Sky, the whole time they're never friends. And when the series ends, they're still not friends. They just respect each other at the end of it.
They just let it slide.
Yeah, it's because it's like they have to work together. But here, it's like they solve their problems. They wrap it up and solve their problems a little too quick.
Exactly.
And I think that that's something that we got even in Mighty Morphin. If you really think about it, there was like almost a little love triangle with Kat, Tommy, and Kimberly.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and it's like, oh, at least it was hinted at.
Yeah, it's like it's relatable. It's the emotion is there, the writing's there, and it's like they didn't just shrug it off.
Yeah,
it was something that like, okay, we kind of acknowledge it, but it's gonna kind of play along throughout the episodes, very little in doses, and then something like this was like, oh, okay, so we had a problem with you at first. You told us to give up our source of power and the one thing the villains need. You're suspicious. You just kind of showed up out of the blue, and no, everything's okay now. Really?
Yeah, it's so weird.
There's something more to this.
But they display the chocolate piece.
Yes.
And we see Victor was in that for quite a while, and then he falls. He falls down, and I like the fact when he falls, like he like does his victory, like I'm here.
After 10,000 years, I'm free.
That's what it was. It was great though. I thought it was a lot of fun. Victor, oh man, he cracks me up.
Yeah.
I love those characters. Would you still eat the chocolate?
It has glue in it. First of all, of course I wouldn't know that if I was one of those kids, but knowing that this chocolate has glue in it.
No, I wouldn't eat the chocolate anyway. I'm not a big chocolate fan. I think we've established that.
Yeah.
But the little key scene here, the
one we talked
stinger.
about yesterday, stinger. Ha.
The stinger scene here is Aidan. Aidan is with Galvanax. Now, here's one thing I liked and one thing I didn't like about this.
Yes.
One thing that I didn't like about this was I wish that they would have drawn out us questioning his motives.
Exactly.
This whole time.
This was too early, and that was a problem I had.
But it did remind me of RPM. You know how when RPM would roll the credits and these kind of scenes would play? It reminded me of that. So that's one thing I didn't like. One thing I did like was that it showed me this actor can act.
Yes.
And I mean, that over-the-top laugh, however, that's something else. But, hey, somebody always need that villain laugh.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that there's depth. Now it shows me that this season is starting to pick up. It took about 10 episodes to get to where it starts needing to get, but now we're starting to get here. Now I'm just hoping that next week they can capitalize on that.
If everyone remembers our interview with Peter Sidarso, Preston, he mentioned that this season, not only this, but Super Ninja Steel gets more dramatic. There's more drama. And now we're starting to see the seeds of that.
Yes.
So
I really like this episode.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how do you feel about it? Right, first of all, real quick question. We talked about this last week.
Yes.
We'll talk about it this week. Real Aidan, fake Aidan.
See, that's the thing. There's two ways. There's a couple ways this could go. I think this is the real Aidan. I don't think Ninja Steel's writing is smart enough to be like, this is a fake one. But this episode is kind of proving me wrong. However, I feel like this is the real Aidan, just under some sort of spell.
I'm going to change it. I also think it's the real Aidan now. Mm-hmm. I think it's the real Aidan, and I honestly, truth be told, I think he's going to be a Red Ranger eventually. I think that now you were talking to me about the movie that there's 3 Red Rangers.
Yes, in the Sentai footage, and this happens in the series as well. It's a thing that happens. The ninja works as a legacy kind of thing. So the grandfather and the father are both Red Rangers, and so by knowing that, we have 2 extra Red Ranger suits that are in the series that can be used. They're not budgeted only to the movies.
Really?
Yes. So we have access to them.
So I'm going to go ahead and assume that the dad's going to come back and he's going to assume his mantle as one of the Red Rangers.
Yes.
And then I think eventually Aidan's going to be a Red Ranger.
Yeah. Because if these suits were exclusive to the movie, there's a good chance we might not see them. Like
Death
Ryuju.
Yeah.
Or Talon Ranger. He wasn't really Talon Ranger. That's just the name everyone kind of gave him. But then Clash of the Red Rangers. That's movie footage as well. So we're lucky enough to even see all that. So knowing that we have these suits in the series itself, we're gonna get it.
I hope so. But guys in the chat room, you can also super chat us if you have a question to leave. Hit that super chat button. It helps support the show. Yes. Share this out on social media, please, if you will, to get our Ranger love across. We love Power Rangers. We love this franchise, even though we can be critical of it at times. It's all in love. And
exactly.
Now
we just want it to be good.
Yes. Now in the chat, this is the point where we want to see how many Ninja Stars you guys are going to give this episode. But Darrel, how many Ninja Stars are you going to give this episode?
What did I say last time? I think I gave it a 2 or 3 or something. But this episode,
you gave it a 3.
I did? Okay. This episode is a 4. Every part of this episode was like, I'm actually kind of surprised at how much I'm enjoying this. So 4. Considering what they have and what they're doing, 4.
4. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Dang.
You know why? The last 2 episodes have been really solid for me. I know we've had a lot of hesitation, or maybe we judged Power Rangers Ninja Steel very harshly, and I don't think that there was anything wrong with that. I think that it wasn't necessarily living up to expectation.
Right.
In the first 9 episodes, even the introduction of the Gold Ranger, it all flipped for me last week. Last week was a very solid episode with some pretty good acting. This week, I think hits. I wouldn't say it hits a home run, but it definitely is like a third base hit.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
It's getting to the point where if they're building it up, and they're building it up really well. I think though that it's pivotal that the next episode has to be good.
It has to be good, especially with the ending that we got during the credits. It has to be good.
Yes, because once we can start turning the perception of Power Rangers Ninja Steel's terrible, I don't think it is. I think that it is getting better. But if Chip Lynn's just kind of laying back and saying, hey, they might not like it now, but I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna let it.
I'm gonna make them.
I'm gonna build it. And and if that's the case, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Knowing that and seeing how this episode kind of played out, I agree totally. But now that I know that might be the plan, I'm a little mad that these first couple episodes were just not good. So
I agree. So let's talk about some of your ratings right now. Daniel Diaz gives it a 4 out of 5 Ninja Stars. Kat giving it a 4.5. I haven't seen the episode yet, but she's giving it a 4.5.
It's a good episode.
Ronell Singleton gives it a 4.5. Strider Xanthos gives it a 5. Anna Miles gives it a 5. Superhuman Samurai, Superhuman, or sorry, I say Superhuman. It's Super Samurai.
Superhuman.
He gives it a 4.5. Edward Sanchez, also a 4.5. Hashtag Edward Sanchez approved. Disney Magic 92 gives it a 4. Ryan Super Ninja Steel Thomas gives it a 4. We got Oscar Lopez in there. He gave it a 4 out of 5. Francis, how do you say Francis's last? Acer gives it a 4.5. Look at that. Funny K Comics, 4. One Man Sentai, 4. Thomas Franco, 4.5. So consistently, it seems like everybody enjoyed this.
Yeah. Which is good. This is something I want to see. Coming Ninja Steel. No, you guys know how I feel about Ninja Steel. It's just not good. So seeing this episode,
Shadowbird, 4.5. Yeah. I love the fact that everybody is on board on this episode. Yes. So to me, if they would have started the season off with 10 or 11 like this, it had been a little different, a little bit of a different story.
Exactly, yeah.
But now I love that the Power Ranger fans are still here, guys. We are all supporting, but we're gonna get to your questions and comments right now. So all your comments that you guys leave in the chat, we read them on the show. All of you guys know that. Most of you guys, any of you guys that are new, leave a comment in the messages below once this video is done, not in the actual chat room, but leave a comment and we'll read it for the next week's episode. But let's start. Which one do you want to? You want to start, or do you want me to get it first? No, don't. Take a chance. You got to take a chance.
All right, I'll start it. All right. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna regret this. Okay, ready. Craig Anderson. Great Ranger wrap-up, guys. Since you guys brought up favorite Red Ranger moments, mine is probably when Andros got his Battleizer, or when we see Connor activate Super Dino mode for the first time against the evil White Dino Ranger. Hashtag Kelly's Bay. Hashtag Darrel is the Red Turbo Ranger. Woo! Hashtag Joe is the Phantom Ranger.
All right.
I would give this episode episode 10 2.5 Ninja Stars out of 5. If you ask me, Chip has lost his touch when it comes to the newer Power Ranger seasons. At this point, I'm only still watching Ninja Steel for 2 reasons. The Team Up episode and the Pink and White Ranger Sarah and Haley are smoking hot. I agree 100%. Chip, actually touching upon Chip really quick.
Yeah.
Carlos and I, Danny, Surfer, from We the Geeks, we were talking about this last night at our gym thing. And I think it's like, I don't think Chip has really lost his touch. I do a little bit, yeah. But I think it's probably the parents that are kind of holding him back.
Like the mandates and stuff.
Exactly. So we were talking about like how Chip wants to do these things, but his response is, we can't because we'll get hit with this.
It's possible, man. Corporate sponsorship, it's a big deal. I mean, I think that as fans, it's super easy for me to play armchair quarterback and say, I think they need to do this, this, and this. But the truth is, you're having to deal with a lot of sponsors. You're having to deal with a network. You're having to deal with all these other things that a lot of us as fans don't factor into it. And I come from that world.
Exactly.
So I understand that. But if you're a good enough writer, you can write a good story and still make all those mandates.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to. Cyril Moore, awesome review, guys. You guys are awesome. I give this episode an 8 out of 10. Kimberly of MMPR was technically the leader of Power Rangers in Season 2 in Wild West Ranger episode. Jen from Power Rangers Time Force was the first Pink Ranger to be the leader of her team. Mm-hmm. Who would you rather go on a date with between Kimberly of MMPR, Jen from Power Rangers Time Force, Z from Power Rangers SPD, or Shelby from Power Rangers Dino Charge? I already know my answer. I can just say it's going to be Kim.
I'm between Shelby or Kim.
100% for me is Kim. Easy answer. Shelby's great, though.
But I'm going to go Kim. I'll go Kim, yeah.
All right. You're up. Who would you guys choose out of those 4?
Jalen Glover. Good day, mates. A great stream as always.
Oh, do it in your accent now. Your British accent's kind of Australian anyway.
Good day, mates. Good day. I can't, whatever. Anyway, it's really bad. A great stream as always. I would just like to say that my favorite helmets are the ones in Mystic Force and SPD. You guys are awesome, and I'm really looking forward to working with you in the future. So make sure to save a seat for me once I show up, Joe. Hashtag Jalen is cool. Hashtag Ninja Steel rocks. Sincerely, Jalen. P.S. Keep rocking on.
Keep rocking on. All right. WS. WSCH. Is the monster in this episode the same one from RPM?
No. Well, it wouldn't be because we're using Sentai footage. So, probably not. No, I don't think it is. I'm trying to remember the villain, but I don't think it's the same villain.
Okay, yeah. That answers that.
Big 14 Black. Sorry, man. Brodie and Aidan reuniting and that heartfelt moment between father and son, Preston and Mr. Tien, was good. The bad, Trapsaw, he was probably the weakest monster in Ranger history. Ripper Rat? Trapsaw? His name is Ripper Rat, though. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a very good villain, but what are you gonna do?
Oscar Lopez, hashtag fake Aidan is all I have to say about that episode. Although, if he is fake, he still kills the theory of Levi being Aidan because if he was Aidan, he would have said something the second #fake Aidan showed up. Overall, I give this episode a 4 out of 5. I wish I joined you guys live for this wrap up because I got caught up on the Defenders and lost track of time. Side note / question: I've never been to Power Morphicon before, and I'm debating on going next year. But I'm wondering if I should try it and go every day, or is one day enough? Thanks, #Kelly's Bay. Personally, go every day.
Yes.
Matter of fact, go even the day before, because night 0, we have things planned, and there's always fun things to do there.
Yes.
You're going to run... Listen, if you think the chat room's fun, which it is, because all of us are Power Ranger fans and we're doing a show here, wait till you're there live in person, because it's a different environment, it's a different experience.
Exactly.
And it's the one time where you can just demonstrate your love of Power Rangers and nobody's going to judge you for it. And all these, like, you know, all these things that we talk about as fans that Darrel and I are talking about.
Exactly.
We can actually talk to you guys in person about. And we can, like, talk about Power Rangers all day and all night.
We can have a panel.
We are going to have a panel, actually. You're up next.
All right. Francis Asair. Great show as always. My favorite Red Ranger moment is when Casey fought Daishi in Jungle Fury. Which one, the finale or? Can't wait until next week. This is epic! And tell Kelly that I loved her shirt. Go Ninja Steel! Ninja Steel!
Ninja Steel. The Buck Rogers 22. This is the first Power Rangers show where I don't really remember the bad guy at all. Like, he pops up once in a blue moon. He isn't threatening and easily forgettable. I only remember his name because it's being mentioned before every episode starts. Like, do the Rangers even know or even care about the main bad guy? Who the main bad guy is? No, I agree with you. Galvan X is super forgettable. The most memorable guy is the announcer.
Yeah.
Like, he's like the most memorable.
I was thinking about this before the episode started. What if he ends up being the big bad?
The announcer? That would be great.
That'd be funny. You're not done yet.
Oh, shoot. Is it me, or does the series just not have a strong ninja theme? Like, they hardly wear their ninja gear, and they wear their street clothes more. In Ninja Storm and Samurai, they wore their gear way more. The bad guys don't look like ninjas, but in Ninja Storm and Sam, they did. I'm a Samurai.
Yeah.
Both Ninja Storm and Samurai use scrolls. This show don't. The Power Rangers Operation Base in Ninja Storm and Samurai was a shrine, and here it's high school. Mm-hmm. Also, the mentor in Ninja Storm and Samurai was a martial arts mascot. I bet that means master. And here, he's a shape-shifting fix-it guy who looks like Doc Brown. Even Jungle Fury had more martial arts theme than this show. Agreed. I can't disagree.
Yeah, the thing about the ninja also, like the Japanese footage, is that their biggest thing was like, we're the ninjas that don't like to hide. And so you're already not being the stereotypical ninjas. And then translating that over into Ninja Steel, you get rid of a lot of the ninja elements. So yeah, this is like the least ninja-ish ninja show you can get.
I agree.
Okay, Kat, I would just like to say, Darrel, you are going to be so wrong about who Brodie's brother is once episode 12 comes on.
Damn.
Also, I do have to agree with Joe and Kelly about Aidan being fake. Like, I saw spoilers about the episode, so I pretty much know what's going to happen during it. Also, if that creepy scene with #fake Aidan didn't happen this episode, would have been a 5. But because that scene happened, I'd have to go with a 4.5.
4.5 is still a pretty high rating, though. Ryan Super 04 Steel Speed Thomas. I believe it's fake Aidan all the way. I believe Levi Weston is Brodie's brother. Maybe they will review it soon. Awesome t-shirts. As always, you guys rock. Thank you so much, Ryan Super 04 Steel Speed Thomas. You rock. And put in another word in that name.
Damn it.
That's not terrible.
Oh, no. I
see what you're saying.
Yeah, I read the order of it. All right. Derek Kirby. What's good? #, Neo Trinity. I want to say great show this past week, and more than anything, thank you for extending the regards, but more, myself and the rest of the Ranger fam here watching on an active basis really do appreciate everything you all do. I'm having faith that Ninja Steel will become better, and as the show continues forth, just like a steaming kettle pot on the stove, just waiting to boil over. Anyways, in my possible absence for the next week, I've got a super special Morphin care package coming your way once.
He messaged me on
more.
Facebook about this.
Really?
Too, yeah. I don't know what it is.
As a sincere thank you and her early holiday gift for each of you. So be on the lookout. Morphin blessings always, and cheers team. Hashtag Ranger fam always.
You know, we forgot to mention that Kelly's not here.
Yes.
But Kelly's not here. She'll be back next week. She's doing some birthday stuff with some of her friends.
Yeah.
It's acceptable.
Yeah.
Shadowbird084, awesome wrap-up as always. I had fun. Glad MJ, Spud, and Danny are back.
Ooh.
Dope shirt as always. I liked the episode. It had a character-driven story. I loved how Preston was kind of scared of his dad, but stood up to him. We were talking about the Black Rangers as being guys. The only female Black Ranger we ever got was a few seconds in Super Mega Force, where Emma used the RPM Ranger key in one of the fights. Other than that, we're lacking female Black Rangers.
Yes, we are.
Can't wait for the next episode. Well, here's the next episode.
Hashtag family.
Oh, hashtag family, hashtag European Warriors, hashtag Spudbird.
All right. FF Justice. I really like this episode of Ninja Steel. When Preston's dad realized he shouldn't have let the ribbon tree be cut down as he looked back at his and his late wife's ribbon 6 times, and then him as Preston hugged. I like how you counted how many times he looked back. I felt it was a little wobbly cry lump in my throat. Also, me and my brother, Dragon Knight, always voices the Zords when watching any season. Any of y'all voices the Zords?
That's actually kind of cool. I don't do that.
We'll think about that for next week. Now, to elaborate on my previous comment, what I implied was that Delphine is from Aquitar. Jen Scott is from the year 3000. Hashtag Jonas Brothers, year 3000. And Charlie led the A Squad in the 2020s. Bottom line...
2025. Oh, yeah, I guess it was 2020s,
2020s, yeah. Yeah, because, if you're counting before she... anyway, bottom line, to be a female and leader of the Power Rangers, you must not be from the here and now unless it's a temporary lead. Basically, you gotta be from the future. Honestly, this annoys me. It gives me this slight tightening of abs annoyance. Q Ranger has 12 Rangers, and having more than 2 female mainstays in Sentai still seems illegal. Hopefully, if Q Ranger gets adapted, more females will take the place of some of the guys, like past Yellow Rangers, and have a female sing the intro. Have we ever had a female sing? No, we haven't.
No.
No reason to limit females like this within Super Sentai Power Rangers. Well, y'all be good now, you hear?
Amazing. Blackwing 2040, what up, guys? Sorry I haven't been on the live shows, the live showings, the wrap-up. That's what happens when life gives you a lot of responsibility, plus school starts back up.
Responsibilities suck.
Since Power Rangers moved to Nickelodeon, they lost 75% of its viewership. To me, that's a really big problem. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to say. I don't want to see Power Rangers die out because the franchise is incredible, and it's about to reach a quarter century.
Yes.
If you're in charge, what network would you choose to put it on, and how many episodes would you put it? I would make it 40 to 50 episodes. That's a great. This is something we've been. This has been the theme of today's kind of episode.
Yeah.
Is this crap? Let's talk about this real quick.
Netflix. The thing that because I'm developing a show myself.
You would put it on Netflix?
Yes, right now. And so it's kind of one of those things.
How many episodes?
40, 50.
You're not going to be able to get on Netflix with 40 or 50 episodes.
Ideally, I would like to, but obviously that's not going to happen.
Netflix.
30, 20.
So Netflix, the way that Netflix works is that you can do a 20 episode season. It's super rare, but 13 episodes is their
usually
key.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you think you can tell a Power Ranger story in 13 episodes, go for it.
Yeah,
but
it's hard.
It's going to be very difficult,
especially if you're going to be using the Sentai footage, which you're basically chained to. That's for 13 episodes. That's really hard. My issue with that is that even though kids are more inclined to looking at their phones now, like Netflix, Hulu, blah blah blah, all that, people still turn on the television and watch just for these shows. And so I feel like even though the audience is kind of moving to Netflix, it's not all there yet. So keeping it on Nickelodeon is a smart move. It's just Nickelodeon has to advertise it and actually air the show during the summer. I think Nickelodeon is a smart choice. It just needs to be done better. But if
I agree. But they're doing really well with Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, exactly. So. That's what I mean. Like, if they can do that for Ninja Turtles, why aren't they doing this for Power Rangers? But that's another thing. But I mean, if I had to make the choice right now, I would totally move it to Netflix because it's just like there they have more creative freedom. There they can do whatever they want. But then again, they're chained down to that 13 episode concrete whatever I'm trying to find.
I think I'd move it to. Honestly, it's two options. It's either goes back to Disney, which wouldn't be terrible because if you
actually a really smart move.
If you take it back to Disney, there's a couple crossovers you can do. You can do a Power Rangers, a Marvel crossover at this point. You can do a bigger brand thing. Also, the movies now go back to Disney.
Exactly.
So you can do like a Power Rangers live action movie and do it with the Disney budget.
Exactly.
So that's not a bad thing. The other option, which is kind of off the wall and secondary, HBO Family. Sesame Street's currently on HBO. I don't know if anybody else knows that. Sesame Street is currently on HBO.
I had no idea.
It's not on PBS anymore. HBO is a landing spot because HBO brings a lot of attention, especially with its adult programming. So if you're able to bring it to HBO Family, I think that it could be a lot of fun.
That's actually a really smart move. I've never thought about that.
HBO could really, and HBO has a great promotion. They do great promotion for their products, and I think it could be brilliant there. I think Power Rangers, and especially now that people you can just sign up for HBO streaming.
Right.
And if Power Rangers is one of the things that are going to get kids into it, then I think, they already have great adult Sunday programming with Sesame Street and Power Rangers. Now you can get great kids programming.
Exactly. Like, you have everything throughout the spectrum. You have your Sesame Street, and then you have Power Rangers. You have the action and the drama, the adventure, and I think that'd be a really smart move. I haven't even thought about that. But I do like the idea of it going back to Disney. Like, as much as everyone hated when Disney had it, Disney had a bunch of great seasons. Taking a step back and looking at it now, they had some great stuff. And I would like to see what they would do with it now.
I agree. I'd like to see what they do with it now, too. But, for the time being, I'm going to support this Nickelodeon era.
Yes.
Because it's what we got. And we got to deal with it. But I think that's going to do it for us. Darrel's going off to Japan World Heroes. So if you want to go see Darrel at Japan World Heroes, it's in Pasadena. It's going on right now. If you're a Sentai fan, I recommend going. Kamen Rider fan, Ultraman. Any kind of tokusatsu fan at all,
yes.
Go to Japan World Heroes. We'll both be there tomorrow, but right now, we're going to be there, or he's going to be there today. Also, on After Dark, we are going to be taking your live call-ins again. Daniel and Sam are going to be joining me this week. We're going to be talking about the state of the DC universe, the DC cinematic universe, because it seems like it's in disarray, almost as much as Power Rangers does, but not. Actually, worse. But that's going to do it for us here. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for watching. And who's going to win tonight? Not Manny Pacquiao. Who's going to win tonight? Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor?
Actually,
leave a message in the comments.
He left a tweet on, I believe...
Who did?
Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. He left a tweet on it. It's like, oh man, this is the biggest fight ever. And then Manny Pacquiao's like, yeah, if you run, it is.
He did?
Yeah. I saw it on my Facebook. I'll try and find it again, but it was comedy.
That's hilarious. But yeah, join us for hashtag After Dark. Join Darrel live at Japan World Heroes today if you're in the Southern California area.
Yes.
But thank you for watching, and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture. I'll see you guys later. Peace.